Hello, welcome to Teeny Talks, the talk show. Today we have Serra Deputy with us. So let's welcome Serra to the show. Hello.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure having you. So, same with Serra. Serra is half Irish and half Turkish, a fifth-year medical student in Italy, doing MD, and co-host of the podcast Undoctored Doctors, plus a daily streamer.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know you knew about my podcast. Okay.
Yeah, it's but a little bit searching about you. So, Serra, can you tell a little bit about yourself so the listeners can know about you more?
Sure. So I'm Serra. I'm currently a medical student studying in Rome, La Sapienza, which is in Italy. I'm actually originally my family's from Ireland, but I was born and raised in Turkey. So I'm half Irish and half Turkish. Basically, my entire life, I always wanted to be a doctor, but when I finished high school, I wasn't able to get into medicine in Ireland. So I actually started working for tech companies like PayPal and Facebook. And then when I was like 22 or 23, I decided that I still wanted to be a doctor. So I quit my job and I was like, okay, I'm going to be a doctor. And I quit my job and I studied for the exam and I got into medicine in Italy. And 5 years later, here I am in fifth year. So
yeah. So meeting Serra was actually like this. A day when I was searching for study with me lives, when I found out like study with me lives are actually great promoter techniques for studying and keeps us mostly focused. So when I was searching through YouTube, it's like scrolling through the screen, I found out Serra's stream very, very different. Like she mostly talks to each and every person. So that made me stay there more. So that's how I meet Serra. So Serra, the first question is like this. When or where did the idea of study with me live stream start from? And who was your inspiration?
So actually, I don't really have an inspiration. I didn't even know that study with me was a genre before I started. So I kind of always wanted to be a YouTuber, but the way the Study With Me channel came about was over the summer, I was really desperate to study for my exams. And usually I'm the type of student that needs to go to the library to stay focused. I have like lots of distractions at home and I always want to watch Netflix and stuff. So I decided that I was going to like stream myself study for like 10 hours a day. And I just sent the link to my friends and family on Facebook and WhatsApp. And I was just like, guys, like, I'm really desperate to study. I have no one to study with. So I'm just going to like record myself and you can come and say hi to me if you want. And then the day before, like when I sent this link, then I looked on Google and like YouTube and I found out that it was actually a thing. Like before I did it, I actually had no idea that study with me's were actually a really popular genre. And then the next few weeks, it was just like my classmates and my colleagues and like random family members, they would come by and be like, oh, you're still studying, good job. And so then on the breaks, like I would just talk to them and then random people started joining and they saw that I was talking with my colleagues and it kind of just grew from there. But like, I didn't really have an inspiration because I didn't know it was a real thing. Like it just kind of started like, wow, I really need to study. Like I can't do it by myself at home because of quarantine. I'm just going to start a channel and like YOLO into it. And yeah,
mostly your YouTube's description says that I have created a virtual library to study, right?
Yeah, it was because the idea was that like my other friends and classmates also couldn't study at the library. So we would make this like virtual library and all study together using the Pomodoro technique. So it just started really randomly. Yeah.
So next is a very frequently asked questions. How was your first stream experience and how do you feel right now after reaching 7K subs? Actually counting her subs was very difficult because when I counted for the first day, it was almost 66.9K, but when I counted the next day, it was 7K because her subs is always growing.
Yeah, well, so the first time, like even if you go back and watch the first stream, I was like really awkward and shy because I knew that, so I didn't know if my family and friends were watching or not. And it kind of felt more like a library as well, because you never know who's like looking over your shoulder to look at what you're studying. So the first few weeks I was really awkward and shy and I didn't know how to talk to the camera. And like, I would like just look at the chat. So it was really difficult. Now, though, like, I don't know how many at this stage episodes of A Study With Me I've done. I've probably done like over 100. And so now it's like second nature. And, you know, I've gotten to know a lot of the chats. So I know people, and it just feels like I'm talking to my friends now. Like in front of the camera, I just feel like I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm not nervous anymore. I'm not anxious. It really just feels like second nature. Like, yes, I'm studying at the library, and then at the breaks, it's like I'm going out and having a coffee with them. Like, it's just like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, we're doing this. And yeah.
Yeah, that's actually cool to have someone to speak with.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the only reason why it's been enjoyable for me, because I've said multiple times that, especially during the semester, I would not study this many hours. Like, I don't need to study that many hours to pass exams. And the only reason now why I do the Study With Me channel is just because I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. Like, to me, like, I only study stream now, so I can hang out on the breaks with you guys, and not because I need to study. So
yeah, that's the most thing people use study streams with. I usually started learning with study streams because I felt like I'm alone. I don't have anyone to study with, so I started watching Stream Team and have become a member of Stream Team. That actually is a very cool thing, to study with someone with us. So what advice would you give to your younger self?
So regarding studying, or general life advice, or what kind
Any
of
advice?
The advice I'd give to my younger self is to kind of be nicer to myself, because a few years ago I was really upset with myself that I couldn't get into medicine the first time I tried, when I was like 17 or 18. And like, I refused to let myself be happy doing other things. Like, I got into other university courses, but because it wasn't medicine, I told myself that I couldn't be happy. And I was just like, no, like, I have to be a doctor or nothing else. And, you know, I feel like I was very angry at myself for no reason. And looking back on it now, I really regret that I didn't allow myself to be happy. So if I could give myself advice, I would just be like, look, it's okay. Like, you're still young, you're still a student, you can enjoy other things. Like, life is going to be okay. And I really wish I could have like learned this at a way younger age, but you know, better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, self-love is a very big thing to every human being. So
exactly.
This question is actually not so relevant, but asking you, what keeps you motivated in our studying? Like, I'm actually so surprised seeing you study more than 10 hours. And to people who don't know Serra has studied for 24 hours a day.
Well, that was one time just for fun. We did a 24-hour live stream for New Year's, and we just wanted to break the world record. It was the first world record to study that long. So we just did that as a fun event. I don't think it's a good idea to study for 24 hours. Yeah. The thing with motivation, and I've talked about this on stream a lot, is that motivation is actually something that runs out. There's a lot of studies that show that if you make hard decisions in the morning, you can't make as hard decisions in the evening, because motivation is something that runs out throughout the day. So it's not like this divine inspiration where you wake up one morning and you're like, I'm so motivated, I'm going to study 12 hours today. That's not how the human mind works. How it actually works is that you need to create systems and routine and like build consistent habits. So for me now, it's no longer I'm going to get up and study 12 hours. For me, it's I need to get up because Stream Team is waiting for me. And because I wake up at 7 a.m. every morning, I know that this is my routine and it's my habit. Like, I have people depending on me and I can't let them down. And I didn't start studying 12 hours, you know, like when I took a break, and then when I came back, I did 4 or 5 hours for a few days. Then I did 7-8 hours for a few days, and then I got back up to 10 and 12 hours. And this was something that like I built up over a few weeks. It wasn't like one morning I wake up and like, okay, 12 hours from now on, this is it. And oh, sorry, my cat is Mr. Thomas is being really...
is always loud.
Yeah, he's always meowing. So
people who don't know Mr. Tom's is Serra's cat. He's too loud. In most of the streams, Mr. Tom keeps meowing all the time.
All the time. I couldn't grab him. He doesn't want to come up.
He always makes sounds, and that's one of the frequently asked questions. Why is your cat so loud?
He's so loud. He just meows all the time. I don't know what's wrong with him, to be honest.
Okay. So, how do you plan your rest and self-care? As you said earlier, you didn't have self-love. So, how do you plan your rest and self-care?
Well, nowadays it's a little bit different, and I think how people do it, like it really changes from person to person. I think the one way that like people should do self-care is through exercise. Like all research and everything shows that
Exercise is very good thing.
Yeah, for stress relief, for like emotional feelings, like everything, like exercise is really, really good. But I think now like self-care, for me, a big part of it is convincing myself that it's okay to take time off. So like I used to feel guilty when I wasn't studying, or if I wasn't studying well, I would be like, oh no, like this is really bad. Why am I not doing this? But now like the metaphor that I always give is that you need to think of yourself like an axe. And when you take time off, it's like you're sharpening the axe, because if you keep using an axe to cut trees, eventually the axe is going to get blunt, right? And that's kind of like burning out. But if you take time off and you take the time to sharpen the axe and oil the axe is going to stay sharp for longer, so you can cut trees much, much more efficiently. So like for me now, self-care is making sure I rest and I exercise and I eat well and like I sleep enough, and I take days off where it's okay for me to do nothing because I'm sharpening my axe, and that makes sure that I can stay like efficient for longer amounts of time.
Okay, so do you have any study tips for students which you use in daily life? There are so much tricks around.
For sure. First of all, if you're not using the Pomodoro method, you have to start. I don't care what type of student you are. I don't care what you're studying. You need to start using the Pomodoro method. And I used to be very against the Pomodoro method because I used to hate the idea of getting my work interrupted. But I realized that by taking breaks, it allowed me to go for longer. So my number one tip is start with the Pomodoro method, for sure.
Yeah, that
my
was
number
same
two
for
tip.
me.
Yeah.
I used to hate Pomodoro because I think why taking breaks actually makes me so lazy. But Pomodoro actually made me have a good rest plus a good time to work.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people are against the idea of Pomodoro, but it really helps you get started, and it really helps you to go for a longer time throughout the day. My second tip for sure is to use flashcards. Everyone should use flashcards, 100%. Flashcards are the most effective way to study. There has been so much research on it, so much research, and it is undeniably the best way to study is using flashcards.
Okay, so next question is, would you like to continue streaming even after getting a doctor degree or after becoming a doctor?
Well, so it kind of depends on what my schedule will look like, because if you're a practicing doctor or an intern, you spend a lot of your time in the hospital, like running around and looking at wards and patients. So I might not have the time to actually be able to stream. But for me, like streaming is such a fun activity, and I like really just enjoy it so much, and I enjoy the community so much that I think I will always try to find a way to implement it into my day-to-day. So like say I can't stream while I'm at the hospital, but I have the weekends off, then I would stream on the weekends. Yeah, so like for me, for sure, like stream is something that I want to continue for many years to come, just because like I get so much personal enjoyment and satisfaction out of it. So I don't want to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, most of your streams make good friends too. Like,
yeah,
I got so much friends in the stream. That's actually cool to have some new friends.
For sure. Like I've met people on stream in real life. Like I've had people who have messaged me being like, hi Sarah, like I'm from stream team, I found your stream, but I live in Rome, do you want to meet up? And I like went and I had a coffee with them, and now like we hang out every week, and like I've made like actual real friends from streaming. So like for sure it's going to be something I continue.
Yeah, so this is not actually a big relevant question, but I'm gonna ask you, what is your vision for yourself for the next 5 years? Any new projects?
So at the moment I'm working on a tool for my university. We're building like this huge tool, and I've had like now 5 students helping me with it. But so one of my goals would be that this tool is going to be adopted by the university itself, and it's going to be used by all of the students studying medicine and English. The other one is we've also started a website to help students study medicine in Italy in English. So we're writing blogs and we're doing YouTube videos on interviewing students from all of the universities and like helping them with the application procedures and finding housing. So like in the next 5 years, I would really like to be able to take this to a place where all medical students who study in Italy in English will have used, like it will have helped them. That's like my one big goal, I would say, is to like build these two tools that are going to end up helping like thousands of students in the next 5 years. Other than that, obviously I want to graduate, and yeah, then after that we'll see what happens.
Okay, so do you have anything left to say to the listeners?
I would say, you know, be kind to yourselves. I know when you're a student, it seems like all of your studies are the end of the world, where like passing a test or not is like a really big deal. And while it's true that it's important, I can promise you that it's not the end of the world. And in 5-10 years, you're not going to even think about this test that you failed. So like, be good to yourselves, like take time off, be kind to yourself. You know, everything's going to be okay. And yeah, I really hope people believe this. Okay,
so I'm so happy you're here, and thank you for being here this much time. It's a very quality time I spent with you. So to the listeners, all of you, please go and check out Serra's YouTube channel, her Instagram ID, her Twitch channels, and everything. And I'll be linking them down, so please go and check it out. So thank you, Serra, for coming.
Thank you for having me. This was very pleasant.
So this is Teen Talks Talk Show. See you with the next episode. Stick around. Bye.